I think I'm live. Should be live. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1,
Oh,
2.
yep. Just went live on my end.
Yay!
Just went live on my end.
I just went live. Yay, I went live. Hello!
I see, hard to believe, but 12 years ago, Scott Hatton and I, JT Hollis, held our EP release party. Can't believe it's been that long ago. The song I'm sharing is a mission statement song for me and has both Scott and Kay on background vocals. Hope you enjoy and feel free to share.
Wow.
I'm putting Ain't Gotta Be Young to Make It in Nashville
Oh, cool.
on there.
Go for it. Go for it. Why is it not showing that I'm live on DLive? What's going on here? My channel. There we go.
Ah, crap. Damn it.
There it is. Live on YouTube. We're live everywhere. Hello, Lady Death. Hello.
Hi, Kaya.
Lots to do. Woo. Lots to do. Lots to do. And
Not really. Just a little.
Before we go live.
Alright. Paste that.
I love Grogu.
I do too. And so does the kayak. She has one too. If I remember right, you got a Grogu, don't you, Kaya?
For sure. Alrighty. It's 8 o'clock. Let's do this thing here. Oh, JT. Go for it, my friend.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to Avenger Pretenders. This week, the Geek and the Redneck review episode number 6 of What If. Sit back, relax, grab your popcorn and your adult beverage, and have some fun. Sully, it's all yours.
Alrighty. I'll take it from here. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for those that are listening to this podcast, watching live on twitch.tv/accidental punch, as well as YouTube, DLive, and all those wonderful good places. I appreciate it. As always, this week, as JT said, episode 6 of What If. And this week's episode was titled, What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark? Woo, boy. Oh, boy. That's all I can say is, oh, boy. Because a lot happened in very little time. I think the total runtime for this episode was about 33 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting, to say the least.
Nikaya, all she can say is, wow, just wow. Also want to say hi to our lovely friend from above or across the northern border, our good friend Crochet Carol.
Hello, Carol. There was, oh boy, a lot happened in this episode. That's for sure. A lot happened. And just like the title says, what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark? Well, we start with the start of Iron Man. It's pretty much the start of Iron Man, and actually even before that, the Watcher only had two stones that he talked about in the beginning, and I know I've mentioned this in a lot of the episodes where if you listen to the intro. And you listen to the Watcher's narration, he mentions what Infinity Stones are being used at this point in time.
Right.
And for this week, it was just space and reality. Space has been used every single time so far, which is kind of crazy, but cool. So,
want to say hi to Keaton's. Keaton's just joined us in the chat room. Great to have you along, Keaton's. What's up with you?
What up, man? How are ya? Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't watched Marvel's What If episode 6, hashtag spoilers.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you to leave, but we're just going to let you know we're going to ruin the episode for you.
We're going to spoil it for you because, well, that's what we do, and it's been a week, and the new episode comes out in 2 days. But that's besides the point. So, we start this episode off at the beginning of Iron Man 2, right after Tony Stark has impressively demonstrated the Jericho missile. And pretty much the same thing happens. You know, an IED blows it up. They're getting fired upon. This is before we find out that the 10 Rings is really behind it. And in this case, Eric
Don't ruin
Killmonger.
the movie for me.
So what?
I said, don't ruin the movie for me.
Oh, well, I mean, if you haven't watched it now, I mean...
Well, 10 Rings just came out.
No. The 10 Rings was first mentioned in Iron Man.
I must have missed that.
Yes, you
Okay.
did. Now you got to go back and watch Iron Man.
Nah. It's just a mention of them. I'm not worried about it.
Well, I mean, it's a mention of them, plus it's a terrorist plot, plus it was in Iron Man 2. Technically,
Yeah, I'm not
Iron
worried
Man
about it.
3.
I'm not worried about it. We're good.
They were all over. Including Hydra and AIM and all that good stuff. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. But in this timeline, Eric Killmonger arrives and saves Tony Stark and some of the other soldiers from a terrorist organization that was attacking the caravan. They basically decide to say, hey, let's be friends. Bad idea. In my opinion, bad idea. But according to what we see next is they get back to the States and Stark appoints Killmonger as the new CSO of Stark Industries to help develop new weapons. New weapons that will overpower anything that falls into the wrong hands of terrorist organizations like the 10 Rings, AIM, so on and so forth. So we're still keeping it in the MCU, which is really good. They're still using these other companies that are out there, terrorist organizations, so on and so forth. They're really doing what they need to do to kind of still tie it to the MCU, which is phenomenal, by the way. They're doing a really great job about it. And like we mentioned last week, JT has mentioned numerous times of how impressed he is with the research that they're doing to tie everything together.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean, there's a lot of shit to go through, and the timelines in order to line up all of the timelines. I mean, like you said, this one has Iron Man 2, and there's Black Panthers involved, and all this stuff,
it's crazy.
And it's like, how do they do this and still be able to keep true to the timelines that are already out there?
Right.
Big kudos to them. Yeah, I still give them credit for that.
And this is what was very interesting when it came to this episode. Because this episode alone, within the first, I don't know, what would you say, 10 minutes? 5-10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Erased at least 3 to 4 movies.
Oh, yeah.
At least 3 to 4 movies.
Or at least totally freaking changed them. I mean, it definitely erased Iron Man 2.
Well, and technically Iron Man 1, because after Killmonger becomes the new CSO, he exposes Obadiah Stane as being involved with the 10 Rings.
Well, I think with Iron Man 1, they would probably move the timeline back.
Sure.
A little bit. Well, instead of going from the desert forward, they might go back a little bit to try and still have the movie. Otherwise, they would have to completely change it.
Well, but it was changed. It was changed.
Well, yeah.
After Obadiah Stane is exposed, he basically hands Stane's old position to Killmonger. So now he went from CSO to COO basically locking him in for the company to do whatever they need to do and pretty much get the weapons that they're going to need. Okay.
Yeah, and Pepper being Pepper.
Ah, Pepper. Love Pepper.
Pepper being Pepper is sitting there going, something's not right here.
Yeah.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. Something's going on.
She's suspicious with good reason.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know,
Without a doubt. So
I would be.
So then we fast forward to Tony bringing Killmonger into the garage. Now, mind you, at this point in time in the original movie, Tony was developing his suit because Killmonger didn't save him.
Right.
He didn't save him. The one thing that he did state, though, when he did become the CSO, was that the Killmonger was not there to save him. He was the target, which is how he ousted Obadiah Stane as being involved in the Ten Rings, because Tony was supposed to be the target that Killmonger was supposed to kill. Now, fast forward after the wonderful ousting and the arrest of Obadiah Stane, Killmonger is in the garage of Tony Stark, and they reveal that he had some designs for a combat drone to replace human soldiers. However, he wasn't able to create the type of interface, and that's where Tony came in, because Tony went, let's power it up with Jarvis.
Right.
Makes sense. That's what he did with his suit. Iron Man had Jarvis to help him out. So, so basically it was hey, I saved you. What are you going to do to help me? And Tony went, I got this. For saving my life, we're going to develop your drone.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of those, and at the same time, I'm going to help you create the thing that you wanted to create, but at the same time, it's going to make money for me.
Right.
So it still had the what's in it for me element, which is complete and total Tony Stark.
Yep.
No matter what universe you want to look at him at, but and at the same time, he was still able to say, thank you to Killmonger for not killing him.
Sure.
So.
And at this point, while they're looking over the designs to power the suit, Tony first goes, hey, we can make a miniature arc reactor. No, that's a dumb idea. That's stupid.
Oh, what about vibranium?
That's exactly what Killmonger says. Let's use vibranium to power the robots. Okay. Why not? Where can we get this vibranium? Huh. Well, I know a guy by the name of Ulysses Claw.
Well, I just so happen to have a ring, is what started the whole thing.
Here's my ring. Here, develop this. So Stark says, okay, let's meet with Claw. Do some, backpedaling thing. And this is where Pepper, using her wit and wisdom, says, hang on a second. We don't want to deal with the black market stuff. Bad news can happen from black market, which it's the black market. You don't want that tied to you. Okay? So they bring Rhodey in. And Rhodey Rhodey agrees to being the military liaison.
Begrudgingly agrees.
He didn't want to do it. And, he goes and does it. And this is where everything changes again. Because by this point in time, we didn't know Ulysses Claw even existed in the original MCU until Age of Ultron. So we had Iron Man, we had Iron Man 2, we had Avengers, we had Captain America, we had Thor 1 and 2, and we also had Age of Ultron. And at that point in time, that's when we met Claw. I'm so glad that they got Andy Serkis back to do Claw, because he is amazing as Ulysses Claw. He
and
really
he
is.
has a very distinct voice.
He does. And
Very,
I
very
mean,
distinct
he's a
voice.
character actor to begin with. So he can change his voice, which is really cool. But I love the accent that he has for Claw. It's amazing, you know? And this is when interesting things start to happen, and another movie gets erased. To an extent, anyway. Because as they're meeting, Black Panther shows up. T'Challa himself shows up.
Yeah.
Now,
Kicks ass, too.
now I'm impressed because I thought T'Challa, I thought Chadwick Boseman was only going to be in one episode, which was the Star-Lord episode. Like, that was his episode. I had no idea that he was going to be in multiple because they never even referred to him in multiple episodes. Zombies, so on and so forth. So the fact that he was able to do all these different recordings for the show, yay. Kudos. He's in phase 4. It's going to suck when they recast Black Panther and they get somebody new to do it, okay? Or at least to play T'Challa. So that'll be interesting to see when that movie comes out. But at the same time, we've got a little bit of a problem because as T'Challa infiltrates the vessel that Claw is based out of, Killmonger comes crashing in and starts hurting people. Not just any person, though. He kills Black Panther. And he kills Rhodey. So now we've got a really big problem on our hands.
The whole lot of people dying, man.
Because now we've got Age of Ultron gone. We've got Iron Man 2 and technically almost Iron Man 3 gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Panther is now gone because Black Panther's dead. So this whole timeline just erased like 3 to 4 movies, which phenomenal. They linked Iron Man 1 with the Sonic Taser. That's the product that Obadiah Stane used. He put him in his ears and he hit the button to make basically to paralyze you and hurt your ears. And after killing Rhodes, he leaves the taser in his hands, framing the U.S. for the death of Wakanda's prince. So now Wakanda and the U.S. are at war.
Oh no!
Not a good idea. But back in the States, Killmonger returns to Stark's mansion and brings a vibranium spear with him. And Tony says, "So, you're dead, man." And he replayed the entire thing with Killmonger killing Rhodes and Black Panther and so on and so forth. And Killmonger takes it into his wonderful, wonderful own hands and kills Tony Stark. Which, I don't know how it killed him.
Right.
Because the spear didn't go through his chest. It went through his shoulder.
Yeah, but there's some pretty major veins up in that area.
Well, yeah, I know, but
And
even still,
it kind of, the timing of it all was kind of like that. He bled out with the way that he died and everything, with him doing the extra push in and all that stuff.
Sure.
So I'm thinking, clip the main vein or something in there that would cause that.
All right. I mean, I'll give you that one. But at the same time, Tony unleashes the Stark Liberator, which is what he did. He melted down the ring, created the drone, and, the two of them are going at it. The Stark Liberator drone and Killmonger are fighting, and Killmonger obviously takes it out. No problems. No questions asked. And after Tony's death, we see Pepper and Happy and with Thunderbolt Ross, good old Thunderbolt Ross, and they're talking about how Killmonger's the one who did it, and Jarvis was completely wiped. His memories were wiped. He covered up his own tracks. So now Potts is beginning to suspect more.
Well, and he made the things that he did to try to cover it up just made it more obvious that if he didn't actually do it, he was highly involved in it.
Right.
Without question.
But at the same time, Thunderbolt Ross is being Thunderbolt Ross, and well, now Stark Industries is pretty much under the military's control, and they're going to make as many liberators as they can and go to war with Wakanda. But they're going to use all the vibranium that Claw had that Killmonger stole. So now we've got some issues because, hey, in order to fix the problem, let's go blow shit up.
Right.
Why not?
Well, that's a military man for you, you know.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You know, with the Wakandan spear and what happened on the boat with Claw, now you have two sides going, no, you started it. No, you started it. No, you started it. No, you did. So again, and I know I mentioned this many times during our wonderful conversations about these shows and these movies, how do you take down a superpower? From within.
From the inside. From the inside.
Inside out. Once it collapses on itself, there you go. That's how it works. All right? So now, with Killmonger not in the United States anymore, he meets up with Claw. And, well, he does his thing. Kills Claw and drags the body, just like he did in Black Panther, to Wakanda to get entrance. And the Dora Milaje says, here you go. And then he reveals his blood affiliation to the Wakanda royal family. Yay. Hey, Auntie. That was my favorite line in the movie. Hey, Auntie.
Yeah.
So, obviously, that gives him the opportunity to meet with T'Chaka and his wife and daughter, so his cousin in this point. Shuri kind of does one of those things like, I don't trust this guy. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. And here's why. Because he's American, and even though he does have ties to Wakanda, because he's technically her cousin, the guy is a warmonger. He really is. He's a warmonger. You know, he's the one that they call in to get the job done no matter what. Okay? No. And he says to T'Chaka that, you know, the U.S. is going to send in drones. They're sending them in. They think you guys killed these people, and you think they killed our people, so we need to kick their ass. Kick their ass and take some names. And Killmonger suggested that they open up the force field to let the drones in. Thunderbolt Ross is in control, saying, hey, we're going to go and blow this place up, and we're going to show them who's boss. Listen, even though it's fictional, Wakanda would kick our ass.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
I know it's fictional,
but
the technological
advances...
With
one foot and one hand, both tied behind their back.
Well, the fact that they use vibranium on everything, hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're an alien culture. They embrace technology, and they can do so much more than we can. Just saying. Just pointing it out.
Would you really call them an alien culture, though? Because they're not really aliens. They're
not.
They found the vibranium and, you know, way before and had really, really smart people.
Well, that, and they embraced the technology of it.
Right.
And
Right.
and vibranium, even though it's out of Wakanda, is technically an alien substance because it had to do with a meteorite hitting thousands and thousands of years ago, which is why they were
True.
able to mine it, and it duplicated and it spread throughout the earth and all that good stuff. Is it pure vibranium? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are there fake vibraniums out there? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just a few.
There's so many different versions of the vibranium. Some are stronger, some are weaker. Plus, you have adamantium as well. So, strong metals in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we'll see soon enough. But that's besides the point. So once they open up the force field and they let the drones in, Ross loses control of the drones. They all die. They all stop.
They all go. Mm.
They do what happens when you take a battery out. It just goes because the force
Something like
field is now blocking the signal. But and I stress the but, what we do notice is that Killmonger has a kill switch. Actually, would you call it a kill switch? Maybe a jumper?
The fact that it's a reverse, I would call it an activation switch.
Okay, activation switch.
But a kill switch is still a good term for it.
Okay.
Because a kill switch is both to turn on and turn off.
Sure. And really, if you think about it, all they really did was with the force field when they let them in and then closed the force field, it basically just cut off Jarvis. That's it. Because Jarvis was the interface.
Signal. Right.
And with the military controlling Jarvis, you got to kill that. So, I mean, that's really what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, it just blocked, like you said before, it blocked out the signal so that it couldn't get through when they closed the force field.
Right. And just before T'Chaka decides, hey, let's party, we won, we did what we needed to do, and Killmonger hits the switch, activating the drones, and the drones start charging and coming toward the Dora Milaje, and the wonderful Queen.
Seeing her in battle dress was awesome.
Amazing.
It was something that we never saw in Black Panther.
Yeah, no. It would have been cool if we did,
never
though.
saw it.
Would have been really cool if they did.
Yeah.
And I was
the cool thing for me, and one of the things that I've always liked about Black Panther is their battle uniforms were very, very simple.
Yes.
You know, they weren't these extravagant things like Great Britain when they came over during the Civil War and all that kind of crap. You know, very simple, very low stated, but at the same time very powerful and very awe-inspiring.
Yes.
Which made it really neat, and to see her for the first time in battle dress holding the spear up above her head, it's like, oh,
right,
that's sweet.
And what we see next, since Killmonger activated the drones, well, now we see the Dora Milaje and the Border Tribe going after the drones, and what Killmonger does instead is he jumps on a rhino and he charges into battle.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Well, actually, I think they say T'Challa forever, don't they? Well, he says Wakanda
the
forever.
T'Challa's mother and the head guard say that during the battle.
Right. For T'Challa or something like that.
Yeah, when they first head in.
Right.
As they charge, it was Wakanda forever.
Yeah, and I remember Killmonger saying that. He does say Wakanda forever as he's charging, and he takes out a lot of the drones, and saves Ramonda.
Yep.
T'Challa's mom. So now we've got certain things going on here. And that's when more things start to happen, because now, in order...
This is...
Go ahead.
this was the point where the back of my brain.
Almost exploded?
No. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it and everything else. But then in the back of my brain, the military started kicking in. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at everything all the way up until now and I'm like, you know what?
Something's going on.
Something's going on. Something's up with Killmonger.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a plan here, and something's going on.
Absolutely. And
You know, it's like, meh.
and that's where the next scene comes in. Because the next scene is, what can I do to thank you?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do
I
to
hated
thank
those
you?
words.
You saved Wakanda. You saved Wakanda and you saved my wife, Ramonda, who is in charge of the Dora Milaje. What can I do to repay everything that you've done for Wakanda? And it happened while looking at
Exactly
the sunset.
what he wanted.
He got exactly what he wanted. He became the next Black Panther. T'Chaka lends him the power of the heart-shaped herb. On the ancestral plane, T'Challa confronts him.
I love the confrontation too.
Yeah. It was very civil, but it was also you're gonna
Vicious.
get your own. Yeah,
It was civil, but it was vicious at the same time.
The
You know,
words
I mean,
that went
just-
back and forth between the two.
I got chills. I
Yeah.
got chills when they during this conversation. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. During this time, you know, we see a couple of shots of Killmonger in his gold and black Black Panther attire. So we have the new Black Panther, and at the same time, Thunderbolt Ross is being Thunderbolt Ross again, trying to plan a new assault on Wakanda using Stark technology, and basically telling Pepper Potts, basically telling Pepper, you're going to do this no matter what. You work for me.
Yep.
Stark Industries works for the military. Simple as that. And once she enters Tony's office, she sees Shuri in her office.
How did you get in here?
Yep. Who confirms Killmonger's deception that led to Stark's death and the war. And they decide, hey, we've got a common enemy. And the two join forces to expose the truth. And then the episode ends. Just like that. No cutscene, no mid-credit scene. And this is one of the things that I've been loving about What If. There's no mid-credit scene.
Yep.
So we know something's going to happen. And mind you, I think we only have like 4 episodes left. If I remember correctly, I think they're only doing 10. Let's see here. Sorry, 9. 9 episodes. They're only doing 9 episodes. So, so for that tells me something big is going to happen because we only have 3 episodes left. I want to say hi to Sim.
9?
Yeah, they're only doing 9. I want to say hi to Sim Trisha, who just subscribed at Tier 1 for 3 straight months. Hello,
Only
my dear.
30 months to go.
Yeah, 30 months to go to catch up to Lady Death.
No problem.
So thank you for subscribing
you,
to our
Sim
channel
Trisha.
once again. We love you. Give you the hearts. We give you the hearts.
Yeah.
If
So
yep, go ahead.
where did you see that they're only doing 9 episodes? Because it was announced as 10.
So I'm looking at the Marvel Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, Marvel. It's controlled by Marvel, and they said it will consist of 9 episodes concluding on October 6th, and it is part of Phase 4, and a second 9-season episode, 9, wow, a second 9-episode season is expected to premiere as early as next year. So they're going to be doing a lot
Interesting.
with the multiverse on this.
Very interesting, because even here now it's saying 9 I googled it.
Yep.
And even here it's saying 9 episodes.
9
when
episodes.
Originally,
it was supposed to
when
be 10.
we first started talking about it, it was supposed to be 10 episodes for the first season.
Yep.
And 10 episodes for the second season.
So that makes me wonder what's going to happen, because they've been teasing like a big crossover in some of these episodes. And
things that make you go, what the fuck?
say, what?
You're just thinking, what the
hell? So, yeah. So, we've got a lot going on now. A lot going on. And again, this could be, obviously it's a different timeline. We know this because Zombies takes place in a different one. We've seen Tony already. So, there's a lot going on. So, now, our tie-ins. We've got Easter eggs and tie-ins. Christine Everhart is back, folks. Christine Everhart, the wonderful news reporter that Tony Stark had wonderful relations with in the first movie and has been in pretty much every movie and TV show that we can think of that they've used her in. So, yay for that. She's a great reporter. The Sonic Taser that I mentioned. Yay. Sonic Taser. That brings you right back to Iron Man 1. And I don't know about you, but I got like a weird anime feeling when Killmonger presented his drone. It looked like Gundam.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was kind of a. It was definitely an anime feel when the image popped up for it, and I was kind of like, and even Stark said it.
Yeah. Well, even Killmonger. Killmonger goes, I like anime.
Yeah.
Sim Trista just says she's cooking some food. Miss everyone. She's been MIA for a minute because of life. Listen, it happens. Right. It happens. What are you gonna do?
All the time.
It happens. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all the frickin' time. But
yeah, pretty much. So now another Easter egg you got is the arc reactor versus vibranium. Which one is better? A miniature arc reactor, which obviously powered the Iron Man suit, is phenomenal. Could you imagine if he had the mini arc reactor with the vibranium ring?
Well, it surprised me. And that was something I was going to talk about, was Tony Stark being Tony Stark.
Yes.
Like we talked a little bit ago about.
Yep.
Tony Stark being Tony Stark. Okay, if I build, I'm putting forward Tony Stark thoughts here.
Yeah.
If I build mini arc reactors for these, and the military buys them, I will no longer be a multi-millionaire. I'll be a multi-billionaire.
Right.
But to put it the way my daughter would, he poo-pooed that idea before it even fully got out of his mouth.
He poo-pooed that idea. Just,
Yeah, JT said poo-pooed, Nikaya. You can clip that if you want. But it really surprised me when he cut the idea out before he even finished putting the idea forward.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, why would he do that?
Yeah.
But as I'm talking about it and as I'm thinking about it, if he would have gone forward with the mini arc reactors, it would have removed the ring,
Yes.
which would have removed the vibranium element to the whole thing. So they had to get that in there, and that was the only way that they could do it.
But would it? I think it would just make it stronger, to be honest.
Yeah, you could combine the two, but they wanted it to be all, from that point on, it was all about, okay, Wakanda, vibranium,
Right.
and the plan that Killmonger had in his head of what he was going to do.
Right.
We knew that Stark was going to get cut out, so whether he became a multimillionaire or not didn't really freaking matter.
Very true. Very
or
true.
a multi-billionaire, excuse me. So.
Well, he is a billionaire playboy philanthropist, so
Right. It's funny. Once again, I have sat here and answered my own question by talking myself through it.
Crazy, isn't it? You're
Stop
learning.
doing that shit.
You're learning.
Stop doing that shit to me, Sully.
You're
I
learning.
don't want to learn.
Obviously, the next Easter egg, which isn't really an Easter egg because I already mentioned it, is the callback to the drones from Iron Man 2. The only difference is instead of Ivan Vanko creating them, Tony Stark created it.
Well, and here's a shot from left field.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that popped in my head,
yep,
with the battle robots and the drones and all that was X-Men.
Oh, like the Sentinels?
With Magneto.
Yeah, the Sentinels.
The Sentinels, yeah.
We'll see them soon.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Now that Marvel owns the rights to X-Men.
I went more that way than anything.
Which is still a good Easter egg.
The drones came out.
It's still a good Easter
egg. So that
egg.
was a double-sided Easter egg then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The only difference is instead of Justin Hammer creating them, it was Tony that did it instead. Right. Because Jarvis is the one that, powered the suits up. Obviously, the salvage yard that Claw is based out of, the only difference is Claw didn't lose his hand this time. And if you're just tuning in, you can see, which one is that? Oreo?
Mm-hmm.
Oreo
Remember, Pringles has no tail.
Okay, Pringles has no tail. Oreo does. Oreo is visiting and whipping JT in the face with his tail.
Yes.
Whoopsie. Obviously, Thunderbolt Ross commanding Stark Technology is a bad thing. Very, very bad thing. We'll see what happens. But
it's going to be interesting. I mean, the one thing I didn't really like about the episode was, and I guess I really shouldn't say this until I go into my review, but it became very predictable.
Yes.
But it made
sense.
A 180. It made a 180 when Pepper and what's her name met in the office and said the very last line.
Yes.
Which was, so how about we work together to prove what he's doing?
Okay.
Or to shut him down.
Who am I to say no? Who am I to say no? I'm just putting it out there. Who am I to say no?
Yeah. It would be a little bit off-putting that you were saying it to somebody who looked like they were about 10 years old.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was able to get past all that security and everything else and sit there in Tony Stark's chair, waiting for Pepper to come into the office.
Yeah.
Which
I thought was really great. I like that they incorporated her into that and went, no, let's change it.
Yeah, and it opened up a lot too.
Yep.
Because it wasn't we know what's going to happen at the end of the episode. It was one of those, see, they could do a spin-off, an extra episode just on that.
Yes.
In itself, where with the previous episodes, I never really felt like they could do that.
Yeah. And
they kind of closed things off at the end, where with this one, it was still open. It was still open. And yeah, Trisha, I have a habit of sounding creepy sometimes. I apologize.
Yeah, he is weird. He's weird. You'll just have to forgive him. He's weird. But so then we go on to our next Easter egg, which we mentioned before. General Ramonda. Oh my God. Was that fantastic. Her kicking ass and taking names. Now, mind you, one thing you got to remember, this is probably more of a nod toward the comics to an extent, because in the comics, if I remember correctly, the Dora Milaje were more like they really weren't originally guardians and fighters and stuff like that. It was more for the potential queen, hey, these are the ladies that are the potential queen. But it changed over the years, so it was more of a historical nod than anything.
Okay.
Because
I never realized that they weren't necessarily started out as
but again, they evolved into
protection.
Right, but they evolved into that. They evolved into the fighters in the comics, and you don't mess with them. You don't. So I like that they changed it. I like that they kind of gave that nod, which was good. Yeah. And I love that they made her badass.
I mean, that's the first time that I can really recall in any kind of movie, really.
Yes.
Where the queen, because I mean, that's basically what she was.
Don't mess with her, man.
And, the fact that she actually went into battle.
Yes. As
was,
the queen.
Simply amazing at that point. But the fact that she went into battle and kicked the ass that she kicked.
Yes. And she kicked ass.
Was truly amazing. And like I said, the battle uniforms, for me, is what made it as good as it was. I mean, it was a good fight scene, but if you don't have the right outfit in a good fight scene, it's only an okay fight.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And then, of course,
how many times have you sat there and watched a fight scene and go, if he'd have been wearing this, it would have looked a hell of a lot cooler.
Right? Or if he did this move, or she did that move.
Mm-hmm.
Use the staff, damn it! I want to see that weapon in use. And this, they were able to do
Smack that sumbitch upside the head with it, damn it.
And that's also the good thing about the animation of this, is because you can do the stunts that you can't do in live action.
Mm-hmm.
You can do these crazy stunts,
Yeah, and there were some crazy ones.
And don't get me wrong, now you can do it too with CGI, but it's so much cheaper in animation, And then, of course, the last Easter egg, which really isn't an Easter egg, but it was more of an homage to Black Panther, was Killmonger's version of the suit, where he was wearing the gold, and he had the gold, the gold accents instead of the purple accents that T'Challa had.
He was wearing the gaudy suit that T'Challa didn't like.
Yes.
The statement was, when he had the choice between the two, that he'd like to keep it low key.
Yep, low key and
not Loki.
No,
low key.
Low key.
LOWKEY.
So,
LOW space KEY.
So and even with this episode, there was less Easter eggs, obviously, and more callbacks than anything. It's more callbacks, not just to the comics, but to the past shows. Not to mention the movies that they basically said, "Screw you, gone. We're erasing it."
Right, and if you think about it, just as a final tie-in here, the outfit that he wore in this episode.
Yep.
Is the same outfit that he wore in Black Panther.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And he had the scars and everything too. He had the scars, and he, for every person that he killed, he marked himself. He did it with Tony Stark. So I'm sure he did it with Rhodey, and I'm sure he did it with Black Panther too. So it was a great tie to not just the character, and let's face it, that was great character development.
It was. It was.
You know, that's the stuff that they didn't show you in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, the lengths that
and
go.
you know, they could have said, you know, what if, instead of saying, you know, what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark, it could have been, you know, what if Killmonger, you know, took over Wakanda
Yeah.
instead of getting beaten by T'Challa. You know, what if Killmonger won the fight?
Yeah.
You know, so, but I like the way that they did everything. You know,
Oh, yeah,
it was a nice tie-in.
They tied it in very well. Very well. And they rewrote everything, which was amazing. So, with that being said, JT, what do you give this week's episode of What If question marks?
Well, I think I'm going to have to give it my lowest ranking yet
Okay.
for a what if episode.
Sure.
And I think this is my second lowest ranking since we've started doing reviews.
Uh-huh.
Reason being was because like I said earlier, it became predictable what was going to happen.
Very predictable.
About the last 30% of the show.
Okay.
Which, you know, it's not a very long show, so 30% encompasses a lot of time. It became very, very predictable to me. I saw ahead of time every move that he was going to make.
Yep.
You know,
you were being Tony.
None of the moves surprised me.
Right.
You know, so that took a lot out of the episode for me. Mm-hmm. I still enjoyed it. It was a good episode. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But because of that, the one thing that's going to save this episode is going to be the end scene with Pepper Potts and the daughter.
Yes.
I'm going to give it 3.5.
Okay. All right. No, that's... I'm not
going to lie. The end scene brought it up from a 3 to a 3.5.
I'm not going to lie. I was going to be going with a 3 to a 3.5 as well. Mostly, but
it's again, almost scary that we do that.
It really is. But, you know, if the one thing that I've learned is, for you, as somebody who's not a comic book geek like I am, a lot of this is still new to you. But from what you've learned from the movies, you know how certain characters are going to act. Okay? Right. You know how they're going to be, so on and so forth. And the one thing about that is you can now start seeing what myself and many others start seeing, which is a good thing.
I think the only thing that could have saved this episode, but at the same time I'm glad they didn't do it, was if they would have taken Killmonger the other way.
Yep.
If they would have taken Killmonger and completely 180'd his attitude and the way he looked at things and all of that, and actually been, you know, on the good side instead of being the wolf in sheep's clothing on the good side, just so that he could ultimately get to, you know, into Wakanda to be able to run his plan.
Yeah, and he did.
And that still would have been I think that would have been an awesome story too if they did it that way.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. And that's the beauty of it. You know, you have so many different options to create a what if story.
See, that's what they should do. They should come to me after some of these episodes and say, okay, hey JT, what do you think we could, you know, maybe do different here?
Yeah.
You know. Well, what if you take Killmonger and actually turn him into a good guy?
What if you? Well, yeah.
You know?
What if you made Killmonger the next Iron Man or Captain America, which almost happened?
Well, I think they would have been okay if they stayed with Black Panther, but put him on the good side of things instead of the bad side of things.
Which you
know,
never know.
What are you gonna do if he's a good guy?
Right.
instead of just a bad guy who's acting like a good guy, knowing that he's going to probably, kill Grandpa,
Right.
Eventually to take over Wakanda because he's got the in now.
Eventually.
So, but my weird ass inventive brain comes up with shit like that.
Indeed, my friend. Indeed.
So,
Indeed. But again, that's the beauty of What If. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. You can change things. You can alter things. You can go, hey, you know what? Let's bring in the X-Men.
Ooh.
You never know. You never know. Just putting it out there. Never know what could be happening. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and they keep shit close to the vest. They tell you who's coming or what's coming, but they're not telling you what is coming.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. But the best part about that is you can check it out each and every week on Wednesdays on Disney Plus, which Marvel and Disney Plus do not sponsor the show, but it would be really, really cool if they did. I'm just putting it out there. Okay?
Nakia says, just don't forget my Gambit.
Well, that's the thing. You need to have Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Cajun.
So I don't think you ever actually gave your rating, did you?
I did. I said 3.
Oh, you went with a 3? Okay.
I went with the 3. Mostly for the same exact reasons. I can't really give it that half that you did, but that really is my reason.
So you were sitting at like 2.5 until the end scene came up.
Yeah, and that's, I think, where that has the saving grace, because if they do in fact do something where it's, hey, we're all joined together now and we're doing whatever we're doing, that's where things are going to be a little bit different, and that's where the stories are going to change a little bit, which is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So,
right.
in the long run, anything can happen. Sim Tricia says, I don't love X-Men. That's okay. That's okay. We just want Wolverine back. That's all we want.
So we have to get Nakia's rating.
Oh, yes, Nakia.
This episode.
Lady Death. Your what if question mark for the episode. Same with Carol, because I know Carol's been watching. Listen, Trisha, ooh, awkward. Nope, not awkward at all. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone.
Well, I kind of made a smart-ass comment to her, I don't love X-Men thing, so.
True, but it's okay. It's okay. Just like not a lot of people love the Fantastic Four. Can't wait for that movie. That'll be fantastic.
I hope they do better than they did in the other Fantastic Four movies.
We'll talk about that really in another episode. because if you really want to go down that road,
reasons.
Hang on, if you really want to go down that road with Fantastic Four, allow me to introduce you to Roger Corman's Fantastic Four movie, and then you're gonna go, well, shit.
Let's see. Nakia says 3.5 or 3.5 as well for the same reasons. I could see everything coming, but loved the end fight scene.
Yeah. And Carol says the same thing.
I like Carol's comment. Go ahead.
Carol says, I haven't seen the episode, but from the remarks from both of you, I would rate it the same as you. Hey, listen.
See, we're doing it right when they can, still grade not have seen it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Trisha, what about you? Being biased about it while we're doing it,
I wonder if Sim Trisha has watched the episode. I don't know if she did. But if she did, I would like to know what her rating is on What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark, episode 6.
What is his real name? What is his actual? I mean, I know that his actual name is not Killmonger.
Eric. His name's Eric. Eric Killmonger. And it's more of a code name You know,
Gotcha.
it's more of a code name for Killmonger.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he, obviously, yeah. Let me get his actual name in the comics.
Because I was sitting there and I'm like, who's Killmonger? But then I saw his face and I heard his voice and I'm like, oh, okay, that's uh, the bad guy from Black Panther.
Yeah. So
And
so
both me and Kay were like, that's it.
his Wakandan name,
Hmm.
and I know I'm gonna butcher this, is Najadaka. Najadaka. N
Okay.
apostrophe Jadaka. So that's his Wakandan name. His American name, because he was born in the States, is Eric. So, in the MCU, anyway, he was born in the States. Just putting it out there.
Right.
What did Sim Tricia say?
Basically said she does not have a rating for the show. She hasn't watched them. She hasn't watched any of the series, Marvel series that have been put out.
Buddy,
Just the movies.
you gotta catch up.
She says, now, I did watch some, but not for a while if it's recent. So she's probably talking about if she watched anything, it was probably either Wanda or
Loki, or maybe Captain Winter Soldier and Falcon, or Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
One of those two, Wanda or Falcon. One of those two, I'm thinking.
Cool. It's all good. So with that being said, I'm Sully. This is JT, the Geek in the Redneck, with Avenger Pretenders. Come back next week at 8 p.m. Eastern, live right here on twitch.tv/accidental punch. That's where we love to broadcast from. And of course, we're on YouTube and D Live and all these other wonderful streaming services that, well, helps us get the word out. We can also be seen on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern for The Sully Show and Shout Out with JT. So I make sure you check it out. Download the podcast at anchor.fm/The Sully Show. And we will see you all next week for Avenger Pretender What If Episode 7. Have a good one, everybody.
There's only 3 episodes left.
Only 3 episodes left. Have a good one, everybody. All right, now, just because we can, let's see who's on. Let's
rate Sim Tricia.
What?
Oh, I said let's rate Sim Tricia. Oh wait, she's not on.
She's not on. You silly goose. But I do want to thank her. For the love and resubscribing for another month at Tier 1. So thank you, darling. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So let's see who is on in the Twitch universe today.
Whole bunches of people.
Yeah, but you know me. I like
We like to raid the little guys.
I like to
have a good night, Sim Tricia. Have a good night, Carol.
For the little guys. Oh, and Sim Tricia, I'm gonna send you a message on Discord. I got a question about the Sims that I'm wondering if I can pick your brain with, as always, because you've been super duper helpful with that. And believe me, I've been doing a lot of research on that. Woo! It's crazy. Crazy some of the stuff that I've been finding, and I'm like, damn! So yeah, I'm gonna send you a little message. Send you a message. Let's see. You know what? Why don't we raid the Potato King? He's playing Fortnite, and I'm okay with that. I haven't played. Stop it! Stop it!
Why did that sound like the intro to Knight Rider?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't think of that. And yeah, we're gonna raid. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what, Sim Tricia? You know what? Yeah, we're gonna raid him. DMF Saint. We're gonna raid him. He uses his money to take care of his mom, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give him a nice little raid. Nice little raid for that. Let me raid. Come on, raid at DMF Saint. Hope I spelled it right. Nope, didn't spell it right. Missing a letter. DMF Saint. DMF Saint. We're going to give him a nice little raid. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for the Sully Show at 8 p.m. Eastern, and this Thursday for Shout Out with JT. And, of course, next Monday, Avenger Pretenders, Episode 7 of What If. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Goodbye now. Goodbye now.
Hasta la vista.
Knight Rider, love it. So yeah. So,
I'm old.
Bye guys.
I'm old. I can come up with those references.
That's true. You can. Later.